Bit of a drifty. Hello and good day to you all. Welcome to my channel. I am the Manic Gaming Guy, aka Rob the Rich. Today we are going to be tuning a car steering. Not the engine, not the car itself. Today we'll be focusing on getting the car to handle right. I've had some comments recently saying they are struggling, so I thought I'd bring out a little tutorial on how to get the cars to go around corners and to react properly when you're driving it in BeamNG. So to start us off, today we are looking at a Mazda MX-5 from 1997, so it's the Generation 2 version. Well, I say it is. It's a rip-off version because it's not that car. It's close to looking like it. It's got the right sort of engine and the right sort of layout. But apart from that, it's just something I whipped up. It's got double wishbone on the back and front. It's got a 1.8 inline 4 in a longitude version. So it's going longitude. It's got a turbo on. I believe the engine is pushing out 368 brake horsepower. This is a little bit much for this little car, but it's what I ended up with. It's dual overhead cam, compression ratio, multi-point. The weight is a little bit more than it should be, but it's too much fiddling around to try and get that extra 100 kilograms, I think it is, I need off. So just pretend the person's in there, and that's the weight of the car plus a person. So we'll go do that instead. Yeah, so first of all, what to look at when it comes to tuning your car. So you've already designed it. Don't forget to put some downforce. I've got a front splitter on there. I've got a ducktail wing, and I do have a diffuser. The reason we do that is because if you go into your aero, you'll have some more toys to play with. If you don't put them on, you won't get your front angle and you won't get your rear angle adjustments. And you're going to kind of want them because sometimes you'll get something like this. And this is actually uplift on the front wheels. Imagine driving down the road. Faster you go, the lighter the steering gets. So you can't feel the road very well. And we don't want that. You want to be able to feel the road perfectly. So that's something to keep in consideration. Under tray, the better the under tray, more downforce it will add. Obviously weight and stuff and all this production will change if you're on about the automation game. But today we're mainly focusing on the exporting the car. So we're focusing on making the car handle beautifully so we can export it and play with it in BeamNG. The drivetrain I've got is rear-wheel drive, manual, 6 speeds. It does 213 miles an hour. I put the geared LSD in. I don't know, in the 90s that would have been something you would have got normal. It probably would have been open differential and maybe an option as an LSD. I've put all the quality up to about 5 because I just wanted to make sure it did well. Obviously, if you want to go super hardcore, just pump everything up to 15. You can even click on this little button down here, and you can even bump all this sort of stuff up. I probably actually could have used that to reduce the weight, but oh well, we'll ignore that for now. So at the moment, if we look into our little car engine stuff, what are you doing? There we go. We're suffering from brake fade. We are suffering with wheel spin. We are suffering with high cost engineering, but we'll ignore that one. Nothing to do with steering. We are having oversteer problems, terminal oversteer, brake fades, loads of roll in the car, as in like left and right roll in the corners. So yeah, it's quite a bad state at the moment. So let's get fixing. First idea, I'd probably say jump on your wheels. Get your ideal wheels for your sort of car. I don't know if you're building a muscle car or some sort of truck, or you're building a coupe like me. But the wheel size is quite important. The bigger the wheel size, normally more stable at high speeds, but not so good at turning circles. The lowest size wheel will have a better turning circle, but not so stable at high speeds. Also, it affect the acceleration of the car. Bigger the wheel, I believe it is slow acceleration, but you end up with a higher top speed. Smaller wheel, the quicker the wheel spins, but you will end up with a lower top speed. And that is in real life. I'm not sure how much that transfers over to real life, into the game, but just keep that in mind. Oh my god, I had steel wheels on. Didn't know that. Right, we'll change that back. I want to change my weight at all. Yeah, by about 10 kilograms. Okay. Sorry if you see me doing little bits like that. Some things I haven't sorted out ready for this, but it will get there. So we're on wheels at the moment. So I'm going to stick to 15s. I think that's quite nice because the sort of car I want is like a toge sort of drifty car. Have a little bit of fun in. The wall of the tyre. So if I was trying to explain this, in case you are a complete novice, this is how wide the wheel is. So if I was to look at the wheel, this is how wide the wheel is. We've got 195s on. I think they originally come with 185s. So I'm going to leave it at 195 for now. We'll see how that handles in the corners. Obviously wider is more G-force you can handle in the corners, but less nimble, I guess it will be. I want my tyre walls to be 50. This is your tyre wall. It's from the alloy or steel, whatever middle hub you got, to the tread. So I'm going to bring mine down to about 50. This is your speed rating. So I believe it's the lowest one you want. Or is it the highest one? I can't remember. If you ever go onto here, it will probably tell us the speed rating things. But for now, I'm just going to stick to the lowest. It's not super important, I don't believe. This is extending the wheels outwards. And I'm just going to do it just for pure fact. It looks a lot better. I don't like the wheels sitting inside the car. You may have a different taste. You may be mimicking a car completely 100% standard. But I am trying to make my car as fun as possible for BeamNG and to look cool as possible to show to the friends. So now we space the wheels out. You see they sit nicely to the arch. If you are finding you need wider wheels and you're finding maybe you wanted to stick the wheels out further, you have two options. One is within the game's mechanics, and you can actually choose these arches and extend them out. Not all of the cars do it, but these ones do, and then that will allow me to add... Hey, why has that not worked? Okay. Was I already at full size? Maybe I was already at full width. That should... Yeah, okay, now it's dropped. There we go. 55 when it's in. And if I extend it out, it will allow me to up my wheels further. Only a little bit in this car. Some cars have a huge amount, some don't. If you feel you need more than that, you'll go over to fixtures, you'll go to your advanced settings, you'll find your wheels, and in these settings, you can extend the wheel further. Which one is it? Wheel offset. There you go. Womp. Because yeah, it does look pretty cool. It is something I would probably like to do, but for this one, we're going to keep the car as clean as possible to the original limits. Changing things in here do not affect your stats in here, but I get the feeling in BeamNG it could change some of the stats. I think BeamNG looks at the not necessarily what the car says it can do, but necessarily what the car is designed to do. As in like its size and things. So that was wheels. We've got alloy. This is all preference to what you're doing. Grip wise, obviously semi-slicks are going to be grippier, but if you go on the mod, you're going to likely spin out. I've chosen sports compound for this one, just because this is going to be like a sporty car, like a toge car, so I thought we'd go for that. If you want less grip, obviously further up we go, and then eventually you get to chunky road tires. I don't really like this system, because you can get like all-terrain tires that handle okay on the road, so it'd be more like up here with grip. But yeah, I guess that is what it is. Brakes. Now we were suffering from brake fades, and this is the brake chart. At the moment we have very high pressure on the rear brakes, and this is the grip the wheels will allow us to have. And the max brake and load. I'm not really too sure what the brake and load is. I might have to look that one up. But what I tend to do, which, I don't know, I'm still having an eye on how this one properly works throughout the game in BeamNG. But basically, you can choose any sort of wheels you want. Ideally, choose ceramic or vented. If you're looking about lows, probably ceramic. But I'm trying to keep it realistic to the MX-5 as possible. So I've gone for this one. I tend to slam these up straight away. Get the size straight up. Have the race pads. It normally settled down here. I put it a bit more racy. I'm thinking this guy put some money into his car. And he, you know, he improved things. Now at the moment, front brake force and the rear brake force. And we do... No, we don't get a thing. It's 100%, 100%. So when I put my foot down, they're both going to look up exactly the same. That's the normal logic. So normally you'd have about 80% on the front, maybe 70% on the front, and then you have about the opposite in the rear. That's probably what it should be. I'm going to probably keep it a bit more like I've just accidentally put it as, because that looks pretty nice. Stopping times there, yeah, cool. Braking load 3.1, so you can't put much load on. I don't know. All load, max load is at 3% of the wheel being pushed down. Maybe that's too much. Maybe we'll come down to that 70, and we'll come to a better agreement. That looks a bit nicer. Maybe we can go a bit higher on the rear end. So 100 miles an hour, we got equal grip to force. Our orders is going to change as well in a little bit. So let's skip this for a little bit. We are going to come back to it. We are liking the look of the braking force at the moment, but we've got another subject to talk about, the aerodynamics. Now in this car, I'm not going to have active wing because we've got ducktail. They don't really come active. I've got the sports under tray. I could race diffuser. That will improve the downforce a bit more. But for this one, we are going to just play with the angle. Cordon flow, yeah, that's fine. Maybe reduce the drag of the cordon flow a little bit. Brake flow, that's fine. Quality 15. So we have the G's in a 200 meter corner. So imagine taking a radius corner, it's 200 meters, quite a big corner. At speeds, you can get 1.18 G's before the car will start giving you some issues with sliding around and things. Sportiness at the moment is actually 92%, 82 drivability. But I don't necessarily trust that at the moment because I know we have terminal oversteer. We go, oh, we don't have terminal oversteer anymore. That just somehow fixed itself. Okay. I wanted to play around with that so we can have a look into it. But for now, we are going to improve our downforce. We're going to add some front wing. I'm not expecting loads of downforce from this car, but I do want a reasonably equal split. So we've not got the front wing yet. We come up past the flat point, and I don't think we're going to without losing too much downforce. And now we've got terminal oversteer again. So we're going to go into here. We're going to go into here, and we need to add some more front downforce. I'm going to simply choose this one with the mesh holes. Anything in here will add front downforce when you apply to the front of the car. So beautiful. Oh, I've selected the wrong one there. There we go. You can even make this invisible and hide it with inside the body if you wanted to. Do anything you want. It will still do the statistics you want it to. So I'm just going to do that. That looks quite tidy. Very nice. Now when you come back to downforce, nothing's changed yet, but when we click a button, we now got double the amount of front downforce, so we should see a good improvement. Lovely. Now we can start adding some more of that rear downforce and try and get them a bit more matched up. Now you got to think, what do you want your car to do? Or what's happening is the car got terminal oversteer and things like this. Is there already quite a lot of grip in the front? So you've got to apply this down into your downforce. So basically what we're seeing is the faster you go, the more downforce you're getting. If I change it to active wing, what that normally does is reduces the downforce you get at the highest speeds so you don't over conflict what's going on. Because obviously we're getting 125 kilograms of downforce at 200 miles an hour. So our car weighs a lot more. You'll get at some points where the car even bottoms out when you're getting too much downforce. So you're getting a ton of downforce at 200 miles an hour. You'll have to change your settings in your brakes and things to allow for that, and also your wings to try and not to overcompensate for all the downforce you've got. And you get an active wing, you put it on, and it will actually adjust as the speed adjusts to stop that happening. Okay, so let's move on, and we will come back to this one. All of these we will come back to because you've got to do a perfect alignment of all of them to get the car to handle beautifully. As you see now, we've got that terminal oversteer kicked in, and we're at 90% good steering and 81% drivability, but actually constantly in oversteer. So this car's going, excuse me, his cars go constantly want to just spin out on you. Now we need to fix that. I'm going to use a preset. Have I chosen my set? Yeah, I've already chosen my suspension. I won't explain all this because we'll be here for ages. You can use the little button here. You can use a bit of Google. Basically, lower down the list, more expensive it gets, and the better it tends to get. That's the way these work. I've just gone for the progressive and the adaptive and passive because I think that's something the MX-5 would have. It definitely wouldn't have like adaptive sway bars and things like this. And the dampers probably is just gas mono, but let's say he's put some aftermarket ones in. Anyway, let's move on. Let's go click on the preset. I'm going to click sport. You can click sport, race, comfy, depending on what you're going for. We've actually added more turbo oversteer, so we've actually improved the steering on the front, but thrown off at the rear. I'm going to first of all drop my ride height because I want it slammed. You need to stop flashing and winding me up. Okay, and we're going to add some rear camber. Rear camber is going to give us a bit more grip in the back end. I tend to never go beyond the camber of the front because it doesn't feel right to me, so I don't do that. Right, we'll play with the sway bars a little bit now. It won't give us much, but it'll give us something. What about we stiffen up the front and loosen up the rear? I'll tend to go opposites and see what happens to the chart. There we go. We've got a bit more coming in now, so I'm going to go a bit stiff on the front. There we go. So we've got no terminal oversteer now. We're up to 94% sportiness. So we're going to go for 100% sportiness, shall we? Right, so that looks nice. 1.5 degrees roll. Still looks quite bouncy to me, but I guess that gives us a bit of comfort. Guys, issues wheel spin still. Cooling factor, cooling factor's low, so that was the error we changed. Let's bring the cooling factor back up. Our coolant overflow, so that is obviously into the front of the engine as well, so we need to keep that in mind. So that's fine. The car tends to oversteer again. Okay, so sportiness needs to be improved. We can probably mix and match the springs and dampers, mix them up a bit and improve that. But I think if we go into wheels and just simply add a little bit more rear tread to the back of the car. There we go, 99.4% steering sportiness. So that is beautiful. This is in a 20-meter corner, by the way, so this is your quite tight corners. We're getting 1.21 Gs. Now we can improve that by adding some semi-slicks or even improving the downforce. But that is still quite good. You know, for 1997 car, to get 1.2 Gs in the corner is still pretty darn good. And like I said, I could even go crazy and ram these right up. I'm not going to do that because it will change a lot of these other settings. And then we'll have to adjust them and put it all back up. But yeah, if I was to increase the tyre width, I would end up with more Gs in the corners, technically. But I will change some other aspects of the steering. So I'm going to jump into the area now. Just have a quick look to see how that was doing. I think we can make some improvements maybe. Do we need to come down on the rear wing? Yeah, so now I've got a bit more of an equal mix, an equal balance, so we say, of downforce. It's actually more on the front than the rear, so it's going to be more nimble on the front end and a little bit more lively in the back. We have improved by 0.2 sportiness, and the downforce did improve a little bit. What about the beginning corner? Oh, we actually lost a bit of downforce, a little bit of G's in the beginning front, in the smaller corner, sorry. I wonder what our balance is. So we go down to this one, design, and look in this bottom left. We have more in the front than we do the rear. Now we can adapt that if we wanted to have 50-50 by going into weight distribution. What this does is moves the actual engine in the car back and forth. So if we go forward, it moves it forward. If we go backwards, it moves it backwards. And that will translate into your weight. So now we have 48 in the front and 52 in the rear. Now we were... Oh, wrong one. Now we were about 50-50. So do we need to be still further back? So 49. Where's that put us? 51 in the front. Okay, so we need to go a bit more back that way. Still 51 in the front. Keep going this way. 50-50. So we have 50-50 perfect weight distribution. What everyone always talks about in the sports game. That's amazing. That's sorted. We go back to our steering. We want to always, every time you change something, go back through it and see what's changed. There we go. Look, 1.21 G's in the corner. We're actually sitting above the red line, so we tend to oversteer too much still. So what do we reckon? Add a bit more width to the rear end. See what happens here. Okay, so we actually jump past the line. I wish we could zoom in here. But we actually jump past the line a little bit. Our G's are still the same in the corners, the small corners, and they are still the same in the big corners. What we're going to do is we're going to now ease off the rear camber and keep an eye on the sportiness. We're at 99.4. One more time. I think we might just over jump it again. Oh, 99.9. Perfect. Still sitting at 1.21 G's in the corners. Roll's still 1.5. Still got a comfortable amount of bounce. And I think we are about there. Other things to add, lightness. The quality of your interior will make it lighter, hence why mine's 15, because I was trying to get close as possible to the original. The quality of safety will actually make the car heavier. Yeah, the car will be heavier if you add quality. If you take it away, it will be lighter. That's something to think about if you're trying to make your car lighter. Obviously, you got this one to make your car lighter, and that one to change the balance. My car's got rack and pin steering. One of the reasons I do this is because I want to feel more what's going on through the steering wheel that I have. And also, I do this because that's what the original car had in 1997. Just checking through everything. Our brake force. I see we can add a bit more rear brake force. Now we've changed the balance of the car, we can add some more rear brake force. That looks nice. We're stopping in an okay amount of time. So from 212 miles an hour, is that saying we're stopping in 7 seconds? I find that hard to believe, but that's apparently what we're doing. Right. Some people actually want to buy our car, seeing how expensive it is. Nice. So wheels, just checking over all the stats again. Like I say, you want to make sure nothing is changed. Nothing needs to go back out. What happened there? Why went that where it was? Okay, nothing's changed. Cool. What are we dealing with now then? The car's wake and laugh power steering. Don't care about that one. Oh, sorry, I should probably read from the top like everyone else will be. The car's issue is some wheel spin, reducing drivability. Try adjusting gearing, adding traction control, and decreasing power. Well, lots of them I don't want to do. Quality settings, don't care about them. Front dampers are hard, reducing drivability. I don't think they are hard. I think this game... Oh, we're suffering some brake fade. So, now it says make them bigger, improve the quality. So what, just make them race. So the brake fade's now gone. The car's definitely... Oh no. Why is it ignored suggestion? Yeah, oh, okay, so it's a new one. We still have brake fade going on. So that's not clever. Do we improve cooling factors? Will that improve brake fade? Obviously it would affect other things here. Okay, we only got slight brake fade now. So cooling factors do play a part in reducing the corners on the brakes. That's nice to know. What about if we were to change the amount of pistons? I'm pretty sure that shouldn't do anything with brake fade. Shouldn't do anything at all. It did. So maybe because it's applying the pressure over a bigger surface area of the brakes, you're improving the brake fade. Good. Rear brake force is very high compared to grip. front brake force is very high compared to grip. That's because we just improved them. So let's just improve that then. 66 and 33. But see that now these numbers don't seem right in reality. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna ignore. Okay, that's way too low now. If anything, you want to be on the dotted line. And then a little bit more. And the front one's apparently the one that's too high. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that and we'll see what it's like when it comes to testing. We always come back to things. Yeah, what we got then? The cars issues wheel spin, don't care about that one. Quality, don't care about that one. Front dampers, don't care about that one. Rear dampers, don't care about that one. The cooling engine factor is high, increasing drag fuel consumption. Considering lower cooling, because you said my brake fade was high. Maybe we now reduce the cooling factor back down. Because we increased the pistons. Maybe that was the better fix. Slight brake fade. But have we improved our drag? All right, the drag's gone. The drag's gone. Right, so we'll just worry about the weight. Don't care about that. Wheel spin, don't care about that. Dampers, don't care about that. Right, this car is ready to go. So I will see you in BeamNG. I say that, you should always make sure your settings are as they are. Everything's coming up. Like I said, you want that on the dot if you're trying to make it sportiness. You got all your weight in the right place. You've checked your stats. Your weight distribution still in the right area. You've checked your wheels, like they are fully out. Nothing's changed there. You got the size still right. You got the compound still right. When you've done that, you want to go over to your export and export to BeamNG. I'll see you in BeamNG. Yo, 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 yo. This should work. Yeah, it sounds like it's picking me up. Right. Right, I'm in my little cockpit. It's time to see if this car can handle itself. Oh, my wheel's locked. Wrong way. Okay, we're off. Oh, yeah. It's feeling good. Not gonna lie. I wouldn't lie to you. I think this is some beautiful handling. I'm not the best of drivers, that's for sure. Not long had a sim racing wheel. I'm not pushing it too hard. I'm just trying to keep the car in a straight line. Seems to be working nicely. Car turns in when I want to under pressure. No understeer. Has got a tendency to oversteer a little. But that's the sort of thing that you want in a sports car. If you can maintain that oversteer or handle what it's doing. The sort of thing that you want to be able to keep you in the corners rather than smashing into walls. 150 miles an hour around the big speedy corner. I hate this corner, I'm so bad at it. Oh, onto the strips. I think we're doing about 80 around there then. That's not too bad. Good brake just after the 100. Pull on the brakes. And first gear. And second. Oh! Bit too much on the power there. Got the back end out. Which makes you wonder, can it drift? Well, you're asking the wrong person because I can't drift. Not yet. I do plan to learn. I do say this car is definitely performing really well. Where I'm understeering under load, it's definitely wanting to get the back end out. It's not got much G-force gripness in the corners as compared to some of my cars, but I have only got the sports compound on. We haven't got semi-slicks. I reckon we might be able to fully throttle through that big straight if we had some semi-slicks on, that's for sure. I am enjoying driving this Mazda. It's a very nice car. We had, what, 330 brake horsepower coming out of this 1.8 litre engine. And it's enough to have some fun. You don't need anything more. Ease off the throttle a little bit so the back end doesn't come flying out. Heavy on the brakes, 250, down one gear. Back off, and oh no, I didn't break it off. Such a hard corner. Such a hard corner. Well, where are we? We near the, we are. Right, let's take it around the tight circuit track. And let's see what it's like on the normal roads. I'm going to English drive it on the left-hand side. This is our sort of togy sort of ventures. I'm in the wrong camera angle. I'm only in this camera angle for you guys, really, so you get to see what the car's handling like. I'm a bit more of a fixed relative position sort of person. That was a bit late on the brakes then. Consider we're doing 40 around. Oh, it's looking at the speed out. Good, save my position there. Yeah, I was trying to look at my speed then to see what sort of how much speed we're getting around these corners, but it's not really the point of this video. It's the case of having a car that you can actually. That was sharp. Hit that way too fast. Having a car that you'll be able to take into the game yourself and experiment with your own sort of handling and your own sort of cars and actually have some fun in it. Not get it to the point which I had it at quite a couple of times really, when you just load the game up, you think, I'm going to have fun driving this car. And it is pile. It is pile of whatever you want to call bad words. And you find yourself not really having fun. You're going back and forth from Automation to BeamNG. Well, hopefully now that won't be the case. Hopefully you can follow my instructions and have your own nice handling car. We're doing about 30, 40 around these corners, I just noticed. Because I think it's pretty standard for tight handling corners. I could be in third gear, go for a bit more of a cruise rather than trying to boot it everywhere. Some tail braking going. Oh, a bit too much. Yeah, I'm really impressed. I think this car has come out really well. Definitely handles the way I want it to. Oh, the brakes are a bit spongy. Got a really itchy nose. Sorry if I keep itching my nose. I just realised I'm going to keep doing that. So yeah, I'm just going to have some fun. I recommend you guys now go into Automation. Watch back and forth this video a few times. Make sure you get all the stats right. Get your aero so it's not pointing downwards. When your brakes quite easily lined. Right, my brakes are quite terrible. Maybe ignore my brake advice. But yeah, maybe I'll do a part 2 of a more in-depth video, because this one was more for the beginners, just so you can get the basics down, and then after that we will concentrate on getting some advanced basics down. Whoa. Bit of a drifty. Oh, that's in the grass. Hey! If I had relative mode on, I think I might have kept that. But no, that would be it for now. Thank you very much. Hopefully your cars go well and let me know. I'll see you all in the next one. Like and subscribe and all that jargon as well. I forget to say all the time. Whoop!